Our new website is called infinitelight.me, and you'll see new events listed on our website. The first upcoming event is a weekend in Idlewild, California, which is basically a workshop on the basics of energy healing. And it's going to be this coming weekend. We still have a couple of slots available if you're interested. So again, go to our new website, infinitelight.me. We're also starting to do live events in Orange County, California. The next live event will be on October 28th, and that's going to be the ancestral healing class that many of you have taken with Jim McCarthy. I'll add, my 2 cents, but he's really the genius when it comes to ancestral healing. Why do we need ancestral healing? It's really to go back into our own psyche, our own self, and sort of detach anything negative or wounding we might have gotten from our family or even our ancestral background that we aren't that aware of. We might have been carrying it along as our identity, or even as our, weird tics or personality. But, hey, if it belonged to your grandmother, maybe it's time to let it go. That's the basis of this class. So that will be October 28th. It's a Saturday, and it will be at Awakenings. Awakenings is in Costa Mesa. But all that information will be on the website. The next event we're going to be doing is a weekend seminar in Arlington, Virginia, which is right outside of Washington, D.C. We've been invited by Amanda Snipe and her Mind Your Body Oasis, her yoga studio, to teach another introductory energy healing class. So if any of you are on the East Coast, it's going to be a wonderful time. It's going to be a Friday night, a Saturday, and a Sunday of some introduction to energy healing, but also incorporating whatever healers, whatever you already know, whether it's from Reiki, from your own healing, from your own energy work. We're just going to be offering some new concepts, some new exercises to really up our ability as healers. Then the fourth event that I would like to announce is a one-day workshop on relationships. That's going to be in Orange County, again at Awakenings. It's going to be Sunday, November 19th, starting at 11 a.m. and ending around 4:35 with a couple of breaks. But it's mainly how to navigate relationships, how to set boundaries, how to have your own voice be heard, how to feel loved, how to feel appreciated. And now you might say, well, how can we do that in a few simple exercises? It can take a lifetime. But actually, Jim does have some amazing simple exercises and prayers. I'm going to throw a few into the mix too. And I've really learned myself. I have to admit, I've learned a lot from Jim in terms of how not to be triggered in a relationship and how to move through my own wounds and really how to heal my own wounds, how to set boundaries, how to decide if a relationship is good for me or not. And if it's not good for me, how to let go of it. So I think these are all skills that seem to come up for me a lot. They seem to come up for my clients a lot. And if you're interested in spending a day working on that, again, it's November 19th. It's a Sunday at Awakenings in Orange County. So I guess I'll ask Jim now. Does it seem like we're ready to begin?
I think so. I mean, I'll just keep letting people in as they come in, Abby, and you go first.
Okay. Well, I'll just mention a little bit about our topic again, which is sending light to your future. The reason that topic was selected is because it's really not visualizing your future. It's really not manifesting your future in the way we would think of in terms of visualizing, creating it with our mind. I'm going to be leading a meditation where we go really deep into our body and we feel our chi, our life force energy. Those of you who have come to my classes know that the first thing I try to do is to feel my chi, connect with my energy, the same way you do in a yoga class where you connect with your breath. By connecting with your breath, you connect with your pranic energy, which is the same thing as your chi energy. Now, when we get into our own energy field, we're basically leaving our left brain, our rational brain, our thoughts, the way we construct our day rationally behind, and we're going into our right brain, the brain of our unconscious, the brain of our feelings. What I've found as I've taught this is that our chi, our life force energy, is an awareness that can bring us very quickly into our right brain. The second thing I've discovered is that once we're utilizing our right brain, it's kind of like a supercomputer or a super creator. When we stumble into that part of our being, it really works. It can work for healing our body. It can work for healing our relationships. It can work for developing our psychic ability. It can work for healing our past, our deep past wounds. And there was a point when I was teaching this work when I thought, well, if we can project energy into our past to heal our past wounds, which actually it works, why can't we do that to the future? If we're actually projecting energy, if we are able to get into the energy field, start using the energy field, sending energy to different parts of our life that are dysfunctional, different wounds, even sending light or energy to other people to heal them. If we're actually doing that, if that actually happens, if that actually works, which I've come to realize it does, why can't we do that to the future? It's just all a multidimensional field once you get into energy. So that's what I want to explore today. I'm going to start out by leading a meditation. We're just going to relax our body, go with the meditation. And then slowly, I'm just going to lead us into that feeling of the awareness of our chi, our life force energy. Then I'm going to lead us into an awareness of how to increase it. In other words, build up our chi, build up our energy, build up our field of light. Then we're going to start using it for something. In this case, we're going to start using it to send into our future. These are the times in our life, in our history, where there's a lot of chaos around right now. One way we can use our chi, our life force energy, is to actually just create balance, to create harmony, to create peace. And you may think, well, with all this stuff going on in the world, how is it that we can just sit in peace? Well, I think peace is a vibration. As we are going to see, joy is a vibration, happiness is a vibration. I don't think we're being untrue or disloyal to people that are having a hard time if we choose that higher vibration and try to maintain it. Because the more of us that are choosing light, choosing peace, actively learning about energy and maintaining a high frequency, that really does affect other people, whether we realize it or not. And eventually, what we're hoping is that many people will choose the vibration of peace, even just calmness, love, comfort, joy, to the point that many people are becoming conscious of their own energy, conscious of their own vibration, to where we can start to maintain that vibration in groups of people, in cities, countries, any place that needs a little peace and rationality. So anyway, if everybody's ready, I'd just like to start leading the meditation now. Our first thing, if you feel comfortable, just get comfortable, and we're just going to close our eyes and do some deep breathing. So let's pull in that breath all throughout our body. Just be comfortable and breathe. Just relax. Just pull that breath way down to your belly, even further way down to your toes. We're just filling with air, releasing air. Filling with air, releasing air. Now, when we take in this next breath, I want you to pull the breath in and simply hold the breath in your body, just for a moment of stillness. Hold the breath. Now just release the breath. We're just releasing the breath now. Just feeling that warm feeling all throughout our body. Our chi energy is starting to become conscious to us. Now let's take another deep breath. We pull the air way in, and now we hold the breath. Ah, breathe it out. One more time, we pull in our breath way deep. Hold that breath. Ah, breathe it out. Now we're going to roll our head on our neck. We're just letting our head go, and we're just rolling around. You're relaxing your neck. All the kinks may be coming out of the back of your neck. If there's any tight places or sore places, just roll right over them. Just relax your neck. Stretch your neck. Just let all that tension go. Now let's go in the opposite direction. We're just rolling our head on our neck, going around and around, just relaxing. If you feel any pain in your neck, just be very gentle. We store a lot of stress in our neck, and all you need to do is just gently roll through the circle. Now we're going to sit up straight. And I want you now to just squunch your shoulders up right to your ears. Just push them up as hard as you can. Now we're being as tense as we possibly can be. Tense, tense, tense. Now let your shoulders drop. Whoa. Let's do that again. We push our shoulders way up, way, way, way up. Now we just let them drop. Now we raise our hands right above our head. We're stretching our arms and our hands right up to the ceiling. We feel the stretch from the base of our spine, up through our shoulders, our arms, our hands. Just stretch as hard as you can. Feel that wonderful stretch all throughout your body. Now our hands are going to float down very slowly. It's as if the air is filled with snow and we can't actually press our hands down because there's no weight in our hands. There's no weight in our body. We're just floating. There's nothing in our body that's heavy. We're just floating along. If a wind came along, it would blow us sideways. Just let your hands float down. Now with your hands down, I want you to take a deep breath. Your shoulders are down and back. They're just hanging there. There's no tension in your shoulders at all. Now we're going to rotate on our hips. We're sitting down, but we lean forward, we lean to the side, we lean to the back, and we lean to the side again. We're going around in a big circle. Now we're stretching out our lower back. And again, there may be sore places, stiff places. If so, just be very gentle. Just make a gentle rolling movement and let your back stretch just in a very easy way. Now we're going in the opposite direction. Again, we're stretching out our lower back. We're leaning forward. We're leaning to the side. We're leaning to the back. And we're leaning to the side again. Now there may be new places that are a little tense, a little sore. So again, just be very gentle. Just make a big rolling movement. Now we're going to sit up straight. In this class, what I'm going to encourage you to do is simply feel into your body. There's really no right answers. We just feel. And sometimes the best thing we can do is just be present with how our body feels. So how does it feel right now? Are there any painful areas, any blocked areas? Do you feel energy running? Do you feel warm? How do you feel right now? I want you to imagine a bright, bright light coming down to the top of your head, filling your body. We're calling it the name of God, Creator, Great Spirit. It's rushing through our body, rushing down our arms, our legs, swirling around our heart. This is our chi, our life force energy, what they call pranic energy in yoga. This is what is in our body all the time, but we don't really pay attention to it. If you want to put your finger on your pulse, that's your chi. That's the chi that's always moving in your body. If you want to visualize it as light, imagine light just filling your body as if you're a light bulb. If you have a hard time with visualizing, think about what it would feel like physically, such as standing under a waterfall, feeling like you're being pelted with the water, or standing on a hill, feeling the wind just blowing you, blowing through you. That's life energy, that's chi. Let's spend a moment and just feel that. Now I want you to imagine that energy rushing through your body, so effervescent, so powerful, but also spilling out of your body and creating an energy field all around you. Now, there may be times that you feel very unprotected and you feel like your energy field is just an inch away from your body. Other times you're feeling good. You might feel it's 3 or 4 feet around you. What does it feel like today? Do you feel that buffer zone of energy? If you're having a hard time feeling or seeing, I just want you to stay still, feel your pulse, and feel your energy. Now, your energy field can be strong or weak. It can be full of light. It can be kind of dim. It could have tears in it or holes. Take a moment to just look around your energy field and in your own way, what does it look like? What does it feel like? Remember, there's always light coming down through the top of your head. You can always send light to your energy field. You can fix it. You can fill it up. You can make it strong. So let's do that right now. Now let's go back to our heart. Our heart is a generator of chi, or life force energy. And that's because our chi, our life force energy, increases with love. It increases with happiness. It increases with joy. It just naturally starts to blossom with all this high vibrational energy and feeling that we have. So if we ever want to add to our chi, the best place to go is to our heart. Now, I want you right now to think back over the last week or two and think about some times you had that were fun. It's not a hard assignment. Think about when you were happy. Think about when you just felt relaxed or comfortable. It doesn't have to be a huge happiness that you'll remember the rest of your life. It could be that you had a great cup of tea. It could be that your cat was in your lap and you were stroking it. It could be that you saw a sunrise. But I want you to think about some of those things you experienced recently and how they felt in your heart. Now, how does that feel? Do you feel a little bit of warmth in your heart? Did you feel kind of different when you were thinking of those things? We're going to do a little experiment today. Now, I want you to go back a little bit farther. I want you to go back a few months or even a year. I want you to go back to a memory where you really felt happy. It can be pretty uncomplicated. You know, a nice day, hugging someone you care about, a nice afternoon, a nice dinner. The most important thing about the memory is just how you felt. And we're looking here for a feeling of warmth, of happiness, of joy, or even just contentment. So I want you to now select a memory in the last year where you just felt good. And I want you to see what it feels like in your heart. I want you to sit with it for a moment. Now you may feel this life force, this memory, as a warm feeling. You might feel it as just feeling good or relaxed. You might feel a little buzzing. You might feel any kind of different feelings. Remember, it's very individual. But mainly, let's concentrate on how it felt good. Now, I want you to select another memory. Maybe go back as far as you like to a memory where it was a day, a moment where you really felt happy. I want you to think about that, and I want you to think about it, how it feels in your heart and in your body. Let's do that right now. Feeling all of that in our heart. Now remember, this isn't so much visualizing, although it may be hard to make a distinction. It's more like feeling? Like, what did it feel like? So now I want you to think about something that you might be doing in the future. Let's take something small, something you might be looking forward to in the next week. It can be as small as, wow, I love the coffee I make in the morning. I'm looking forward to drinking it. Or I'm looking forward to dinner tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing my friend and talking. But the important phrase is I'm looking forward to. So I want you to spend a moment and think about what's coming up for you and just feel what it feels like in your heart. Let's take another event that's coming up for you. Very simple event. It might be a dinner with a friend. It might be a new project at work. Maybe it's something really simple like walking your dog. But I want you to think about it in the future. You're going to be doing it maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next month. You know you're going to be doing it, and you're kind of looking forward to it. Remember our keywords, you're looking forward to it. So I want you to think about it, and I want you to feel what it's going to feel like right there in your heart. Now we're going to give ourselves a little bit more energy. So all of those feelings of looking forward, love, joy, even contentment, very quiet feelings of happiness, they all add to our generator, which is our heart. They all generate chi. Now I want you to put your hands out in front of your heart with your palms up, just like somebody's going to put an apple or an orange in your hands. But instead of an apple or an orange, it's a ball of energy you've got in your hands. Now you may see it as a ball of light, you may see it as a ball of energy, but I want you to feel it right now. At first, you may not feel anything. You might feel some friction, some warmth between your hands. You might feel a little energetic feeling between your hands. What does it feel like? As you put your attention on it, you may be getting a color. You may be getting a feeling. You may be getting a thought. It could be that this ball of energy is getting heavy or light. It could be warm or cold. What does it feel like? So we say to ourselves, dearest God, Creator, I accept this gift of love that you're giving me today. Now let's look at this energy in our hands just since we were talking. Is it a different color? Did it get bigger? Does it feel different? Is there a message there? If you're not feeling anything, try to think about your pulse. You have energy in your hands. You have a gift of love in your hands, whether you can feel it or not. I want you to put that right into your heart. and see if you can feel it. Do you feel energy coming into your heart? Do you feel warmth? Do you feel a buzzing? What does it feel like? We say to ourselves, I receive it in my heart and in my life. Now let's put our hands out another time. We've got another ball of energy, another ball of light in our hands. So take a moment and really feel that. What does it feel like? Life force energy can be very light and effervescent. It might be like champagne. You can hardly feel it. But let's put out our senses and see what we feel. Is it a color? Is there a message there? Is it warm, cold, big, small? Now, this is a gift to you today from the universe. It's a special gift. It could be the answer to a question you've had. It could be a relationship. It could be strength. It could be joy. It could be monetary success. What is this special gift you're getting today? Let's take a moment and just feel it and try to perceive it. Again, we say to ourselves, dearest God, Creator, I accept this gift that you're giving me today. Now, did it change any? Is there a different color there? Is there a different message? Is there a different feeling there? Let's put it right into our heart. We're accepting that gift. What does that feel like? We say to ourselves, I receive it in my heart and in my life. Put our hands out one more time. Again, we have a ball of energy, a ball of light in our hands. First of all, just focus on the energy. What does it feel like? Is there any particular color associated with it? Is there a message? Is it heavy? Is it light? Now what you've got in your hands is a gift in your future. This is something that's going to come to you. It's not coming to you today. It's coming to you in your future. I want you to take a look at this energy, this light in your hands. This isn't about visualizing what you want. It's about just being present with this energy and seeing if any messages come, any colors, any feelings. We say to ourselves, dearest God, Creator, I accept this gift in my future. Now let's go back and perceive this energy in our hands. Did it change any? Is there a new message? Is there a scene being presented to you? What is this energy in your hands and what is it communicating to you? I want you to put it right into your heart. So we say to ourselves, I receive it in my heart and in my life. And I want you to feel that energy. Did you feel any difference when it came into your heart? Does your heart feel different now? Do you feel warmer? Do you feel more energy? What are you feeling? I think we're going to do that one more time. Let's put out your hands. There's another ball of energy in your hands. So again, focus on the energy. Just how does it feel? If you're having a really hard time feeling anything, again, feel your pulse. As you feel your pulse, you're feeling your chi, your life force energy. We can give instructions to our chi. That's pretty much what they do in hypnosis. We say to our chi, I'm open to this creation. I'm creating this in the future. But we're doing it through energy, not through thought. So as we hold this energy or this idea of energy in our hands, our mind is blank. We aren't visualizing anything. We're simply calling in the energy of the future. So let's do that for a moment. Let's just feel the energy in our hands. Are you getting any message, any color? Are you getting any inspiration or idea, or even just a vision or a symbol? How do your hands feel? Do they feel warm? Does the energy feel heavy or light? We say to ourselves, dearest God, Creator, I accept this gift in my future. Now let's take a look at that energy in our hands. Is it the same message or are you getting another message? Is it a different color, a different feeling? Let's put it right into your heart. Feel that energy go into your heart. And we say to ourselves, I receive it in my heart and in my life. Take a breath. Take another deep breath. Feel the energy in your body. As we come into a place of heightened energy, let's take a moment to see what it feels like, because during our average day, we can do any of these exercises. We can ramp up our energy and be right in the energy field. We can create energy for our day. We can send energy to our friends as long as we know that we're in this energy. So let's take a moment to feel it. Now a breath, another deep, deep breath. We're slowly coming back to the room now. Slowly feeling your body. You might want to stretch. When you feel ready, just open your eyes. So as we are in energy, once we're at that place, you notice we can send it backwards to heal our past, to feel things in our past. We can send it into the future to feel things in our future. As long as we're in that energy, I think you'll be amazed at how effortlessly your future can start coming to you if you do that all the time. I'm going to send out the written version of those exercises to you. But remember, any means you have of getting into that zone, whatever you're feeling at the time, as opposed to thinking, is going to start manifesting your vibration, the way you go through your day. I think sometimes we try to create our future, but we get afraid, especially when it comes around money, because we start thinking of lack. We start feeling fearful. We start going into our left brain and try to be very rational and think, oh my God, I've got to control this. I've got to figure this out. I can't leave this to something airy-fairy. I've really got to work this out. I mean, we all have to be rational. Let's face it, we can't go through the day without being rational. But on the other hand, try to use this exercise, because money itself is just energy. Money usually follows our energy. So if our energy is expanding, if we're excited, if we're happy, if we try to connect with our chi, our joy, our happiness, money usually will just follow that. If we get locked down into fear and negativity, sometimes the way we earn money, the way money comes to us, will also start locking down and dwindling. Some of the best ways to jolt yourself out of that fear are doing some of these meditations. Also exercise, go to the gym, take a walk, start literally moving your body's energy. Go for a long walk, go for a long drive, take a long bath, go swimming, anything where you can jolt yourself out of your left brain and jolt yourself out of any recurring negative thoughts. Because as you can see, and as I can tell you, because I've really worked on this myself, the more you connect to this expanding energy, the more you really try to go to the right brain and start feeling the joy, feeling the energy, and just staying with it, the more your life will reflect it, the more your life will just stay in that zone all the time. Now, I know some of you might have questions, but I'd like to maybe take the questions at the very end. So if it's all right with everybody, let's have a break of about, let's say, 8 minutes, and come back and do Jim's meditations. And then at that point, maybe throw it open to questions. Does that sound good? So again, I guess I'm saying about coming back at in about 8 minutes from now. We'll just join again and do Jim's meditations. Thank you.
All right. Everything's moving around on my screen. Well, welcome back. And I hope you guys enjoyed the meditation and the first part of the class. Anyway, I thought about the class before, and I just wanted to kind of reflect on how important it is to take the time to let the light go before you, right? One of my teachers, one of his prayers was, like, I give this day to God, along with every second of this day and all the results. Please lead me, guide me, direct me, and protect me each and every second of this day. And then he would say to the divine, go before me and make the crooked places straight. Prepare mansions for me. Bring me those you can bless me through. Bring me those you can bless through me. And that's partly a prayer that I say almost every day, but I kind of tweaked it along the time. But my guides have a sense of humor, and some days I'll say it and I'll hear okay, but you may not like it. And I'm like, huh? Like one day I was going into a business meeting when I was running a company, and I had all my managers coming into the meeting, and I said the prayer. I asked Divine Presence, please go before me and govern this meeting. Please run this meeting for me, right? Bring the consciousness that is best for the company's highest good. And I heard, okay, but you're not going to like it. And I was like, great. So I didn't really understand that at the time, because at the time I thought light always, it always brought like joy. And it really does, but sometimes it has to heal some things first. And so I went into this meeting, and every one of my management team, when I asked them how the week was going, they all gave me a big problem and they didn't have a solution for it. And they were all kind of exposing things that were wrong with the company that needed to be addressed. And I was like, this is what's going on, right? And so after the meeting, I told my guys, I said, you're right, I didn't like that. And they said, yes, but you have to understand that awareness is the first step to healing something. And so I was like, okay. And then they said, in the next meeting, bring us in again, bring the light in again. And I brought the light in again, and immediately people they started getting spontaneous ideas that would address the problems. This was like the next week. And people were just like, these ideas were coming, they worked, and the problems were being fixed, not only for that week, but ongoingly to where they wouldn't come up anymore. And I was like, yeah, this works, this is cool. And I realized that when we call in light, when we call in the divine consciousness, we're really connecting to an energy that's all knowing, that's all loving, and that connects us to our guides, our angels, and everybody else's spiritual team that's in the room, okay? And that connection always is going to bring healing and harmony and peace, okay? If you look at like the teachings of Christ, he said, you must pray without ceasing. And this is what he meant, was you've always got to call the divine in, right? You've always got to turn to light and say, please help me with this, right? So I got into the habit of doing that. And whenever I would feel afraid to face something, I would immediately call in my guides and angels and the divine, and I would say, please help me with this. And I would do an exercise to clear the fear, which I'm going to do in the meditation. And then once the fear was cleared, the event would start, and I'd have complete guidance throughout the whole meeting. If it was a meeting, or if it was something I had to face, or something that I had to do that I'd never done before, that I was nervous about, whatever it was I had to face, I had like help that I couldn't argue with, right? I had spontaneous right thought, I had spontaneous right action. And I was kind of realized I was living by a sense of grace just by calling light in, okay? So, when I was looking at, I made some notes for the class, before the class, and it's like, the guy said, start with what is light and why do we connect to it? And why would we send it ahead of us, right? And when you realize that when you're connected to light, you're connected with infinite wisdom and possibilities, with infinite resources to handle any situation. And when you're not connected to light, you're in your mind, and usually you're kind of in one state of fear or another, and you're not really open to have infinite resources. Okay, so I found one of the people I meditate with a lot, who's kind of a God-realized avatar, she says, if you give your problems to me and you follow the guidance I give you, If it doesn't work out the way you think it should, it's my fault, not yours. Okay. And it really makes it to where you realize that there's an infinite wisdom that knows a lot more than what your smaller self knows. Okay. So let me give you another example. I'll give you two more examples. One example was I used to go motorcycle riding all the time, and I had a nice motorcycle. And most people know that riding motorcycles in Southern California isn't, it's kind of looked at as that it's not that safe. And so I always promised my guides I would check in and I'd call in light before I went motorcycle riding. And so one day my friend came over and we were going to go riding down into Newport. I lived in Yorba Linda. And I had two motorcycles. I would ride one and I'd let him ride the other one. And that day, we started getting the motorcycles ready, and my guide said, "Don't go tonight." And I'm like, "Why not?" Right? And I'd already kind of called in the light, and I said, "Don't go tonight." And I said, "Why not?" And they said, "Just don't." And I'm like, "Okay." But I really wanted to, right? And Abby knows me well enough to where she knows I don't always listen, and we don't have to, but I really wanted to go. I was really attached to wanting to go motorcycle riding. So I was like, well, it can't hurt. So we started getting the bikes prepared, and I never said anything to anyone. I just kind of felt it. And the one bike wouldn't start. So we started working on that, and we got it running, and everything was good, and we were going to go riding and go to dinner and everything else. And I kept getting this guidance like, "Don't go tonight." And I could feel it in my body. I could feel like tightness. And I was like, well, I'm just going to do it. And so we started riding down the end of my street, and I stopped at the stop sign, and I just called in the light, and I called in my divine team. And I said, "I give you this motorcycle ride and all the results. Please lead, guide, direct, and protect us every step of the way." And they said, "It'll be okay." And so I took off. And my friend was riding in front of me, and we got to the end of the street, and normally we'd go left, and then we would go down the toll roads and down to PCH and right along the beach. And for some reason, he went right. And then he pulled into the gas station. And normally he would go left and get gas the opposite way, but it was a further drive. And so he stopped at the gas station. I said, "What's going on?" And he goes, "Well, I needed gas, and I just felt like going that way instead of the other way." And he goes, "But I don't feel real comfortable about going riding tonight." I said, "Really?" And he goes, "No." And I said, "Well, let's just take the bikes home and drive to dinner." So we did. We took the bikes home. It was like a block and a half. We drove to dinner. And I didn't think too much about it. But about 6 months later, I went to sell the motorcycle he was riding. And there was a huge nail in the tire, in the back tire. And when you ride motorcycles, a flat tire could be a really bad event, especially if you're going 100 miles an hour on the toll road, which wasn't something we would do that every once in a while. But I knew enough to know that he was the one that was in danger, just from my guidance. And I knew that I just had to keep light on it. And then eventually the light kind of just took domination and made it go away, right? Even though I wasn't listening, enough obstacles came up to where we just like, let's do something else, okay? So that's one example of just letting the light go before you and letting it have dominion, because it's all knowing. It knows what to do. And the other thing that was really profound about that experience is I realized I didn't have to micromanage it. He got intuition as to what to do for protection. I didn't have to tell him. It just came from within him. So that was cool. And then the last thing I want to say about bringing light to something beforehand is it's two stories. But one story was, again, I was at work and I woke up and I felt kind of nervous and uncomfortable. And I went to work, and everything that was happening was scary. Like everything was going wrong. And about right before lunchtime, I decided I'm going to just sit and meditate. So I sat and meditate, and I got really present as to what feelings were going on in my body, and I cleared them with light. I brought light to them. Okay. And I just filled the company up with light. And I felt a release. And the rest of the day, everything went super smooth. Right. It's like if you clear yourself of a feeling of something that you might be projecting into the future event will change instantly. Okay. Because the feeling kind of creates the vibration of the future. And if the feeling is of a lower frequency, like fear or anger or whatever, then it's going to bring that to the event or to the situation. So today in the meditation, I want to kind of do an exercise on how to clear yourself before you go into a future event. Okay. But I'll give you an example of when that happened to me one time. And one of the things that I've learned to do is just get into the habit of, if I feel scared or I feel nervous or I feel emotional, and it's not a light-based, good feeling type emotion, I'll take the time to connect with light and let it clear me. Okay. So one day I was dealing with this lawyer who was really not a nice person. And I had to go to his office and argue like a $20,000 bill or something that he was charging me for, where he lied in court and he did this and did that. And he was far better at arguing than I was. So I was really scared. And I felt like a little kid getting ready to go up against his dad, who had total authority, right? And I remember pulling into the parking lot of this event, of this meeting, because he called the meeting. And I was scared to death. I was just petrified with fear. And so I connected to the divine, and I connected to light. And I just started asking the light to clear this fear in me, and to clear all the unconscious thoughts associated and all the memories associated with it. And I could feel myself as like this little boy, scared to death because I had no power, right? And so I sat in the light for maybe like 5 minutes. And at the end of 5 minutes, it released like completely. And I heard, now go into the meeting and just speak your truth. And so I went into the meeting, and it was in his big office with his big conference table. And he sat down, and I had not an ounce of fear. And he asked me what the meeting was about. I told him, and I spoke my truth. And in about 10 minutes, he discounted, he basically ate the whole $20,000 bill. And I never ever saw him again or heard from him again. Okay. And I never raised my voice, and I never fought. I just spoke the truth. And something in the consciousness of that, it completely just dissolved the whole situation. And I never had to deal with him again. I never had to deal with that firm again. And I was brought to someone else who answered phone calls and didn't lie in court. So it was like, wow, what a concept. But, you know, we have that power within us, but we have to choose to connect with it. And if you connect with it and you start just learning every day, just, you know, like when you're going into work, I offer my day at work to the light. Please lead, guide, direct, and protect me each and every second of this day. Please bring me those you can bless me through, bring me those you can bless through me, and be the consciousness operating in, on, and throughout my being. If you can just say little things like that, in terms of spiritual law, the light will listen to you, and the light doesn't say no. Okay? It always says yes, but you've got to call it in. It doesn't interfere. Okay? It may interfere to a point, but it won't interfere and help you near as much if you don't ask for help than if you do ask for help, right? Now then Christ said, ask and you shall receive. He didn't just say you'll receive, okay? Ask and you shall receive. So just, whoa, just ask for help, okay? So let me see if I covered all my things here. Okay. One other thing about connecting to light, and it's like when you allow light to go before you into your future, and you send light to the meetings that you're going to, or the event that you're going to, or maybe it's a family function like Thanksgiving that you're going to, right? When you get into the habit of sending light before you, and when it finally clears, you know, when you feel like, what you'll usually feel is, okay, you know, I'm on the scene now, go take action, right? But you'll feel at peace, you'll feel a release. And just know that when you go into that, you've given permission for spiritual guidance to come, you've given permission for healing to come to it, and the light will always try to create harmony, and it will always try to heal and evolve everybody involved with the meeting. Okay, so like in business, if you get into the habit of bringing light into the business every day and asking the light to govern the business, especially if you own the business, right, then the light kind of becomes the CEO, and it brings the creativity, and it basically just starts to push out of the company anything that's not of light. Okay, and one day we want to do a class on that, and I'm working on a web page for it. So hopefully that'll work, because it's a really good way to clear things. But sending light to the future just means you're not alone. Okay, you don't have to face anything alone. And when you bring your guides and angels to any event, okay, they're going to heal it in ways that you could never comprehend with your mind, or you could never have thought of. You know, kind of like that motorcycle story. You know, it was interesting, and I mean, how many parents send their kids off to school worried about their kids' safety, worried about whether they're going to do drugs, worried about whether they're going to do this or do that? If you send your kid up to school, then you ask the light to surround them with light, to protect them from hurting themselves, to protect them from hurting others, to protect them from being hurt, okay? And to infuse them with the consciousness that they need for their highest good. Then all of a sudden they'll spontaneously they'll start to have right thought, right action. And you don't have to micromanage it. You don't have to control it. And if you tried to control it, you would just be met with resistance, especially by teenagers, right? So all they'd have to be is just a little bit open, and they don't even have to know you're sending them light, okay? So I've seen people get healed of cancer just by someone holding their picture up in a prayer group. I've seen it many, many, many times, and they didn't even know their picture was being held up. So when something's brought into light, the light automatically, with its own consciousness, knows how to heal and transform. Okay, always for your best and highest good. It will never cause harm. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is just go into meditation, and I want to do a meditation about bringing light to the future, but I want to do it to where we cover something that we don't want to face, we cover something that we really want to work out, and we cover something that we're neutral about, okay? And because different things have different, I use different tools for different things, I should just say. But, well, I guess we should just do it and see where it goes. All right. So, okay. So just close your eyes and take a deep breath. And just release it. And take another deep breath. And let it go. Now I want you to call in the divine. You can call it source, God, creator, divine presence, Holy Spirit. Whatever resonates with you, that's an energy and a consciousness that's all knowing, that's all loving, and that knows what you truly want and what you truly need. And just call that consciousness in. And call in your divine guides and your divine angels. And just give them permission to help you with this meditation. And you may feel the light coming in. Some people might feel a warm, tingling sensation. Some people might hear a buzzing or hear a sound that's constant. Some people might see light coming in. And once you detect either a sensation that represents light, or a sound, or a visual sensation, just focus on it and let it expand. Let it come into your head. Let it come into your heart. Let it come all the way through your body. Let it infuse each and every cell of your body with the light that knows how to heal, with the light that knows the wisdom of the body. Just give yourself a bath in this light, a spiritual bath. And the most important thing is just to feel the connection completely and allow that connection to become stronger and stronger. Okay? With each breath, focus on the light and let it expand. You can breathe in into certain parts of your body. If you feel tightness, just breathe it into that part of your body and let it heal and let it transmute it. Now I want you to think about an event that you have in the future. Could be the near future, could be months from now. But some event that you know that's going to happen that you feel somewhat neutral about. Okay, you really don't care how the event goes, but you know you have to do it. Okay. And I want you to let this light coming through you fill a ball of light out in front of you. Just make a whole ball of light. You could fill your whole room with light. There's no limitation, there's no lack. Just let the light expand and fill the space of your room. And then bring this event, or what you imagine it to look like, into the center of this ball of light. And ask the light to imbue this event with light, to go before you to this event and saturate it with light, with the consciousness of light, with the frequency of light, with the power of light. And just stay neutral about it. Just let the light bring whatever it wants to bring to this event. And just ask it to bring to this event what's best for your highest good and the highest good of all that are involved with it. And just let the light expand and fill that event. And ask the light to remove anything from this event that isn't of the frequency of light, that isn't of the frequency of love. Just gently dissolve and transmute it. And now just give the light and your guides and angels permission to continue to bless this event and bring divine resolution to this event for the best and highest good of all who attend it. And give them the permission to do that ongoingly until the time the event happens. And then when you feel the light saturated it enough, just bring the event into your heart and the light into your heart. And just one last time, ask the light to lead you, guide you, direct you, and protect you throughout this whole event. Maybe even surprise you delightfully with new ideas, with new creative ideas, or spontaneous right thought. Okay, now just stay focused on the light again. Breathe it in to your body, recharge. Allow it to energize and recharge you. Okay, now I want you to think about an event that you're not really happy about having to attend. Something that you've been resisting, but it's still coming at you. And I want you to bring that event into this ball of light. And as you look at that event, I want you to notice how your body feels, what you feel emotionally. Do you feel tightness? Is your breathing more shallow? Do you feel nervous? Just let the light, give the light permission to start to heal and transform this event. But I also want you to give the light permission to heal any thoughts or memories or expectations or emotions that this event brings up in you. Let the light come into the ball of light and saturate the event with light. And at the same time, let the light come into your body and your mind and give it permission to heal anything that's coming up in you associated with this event. And you might say, I offer this future event to God or to the divine or to the Holy Spirit, along with all of my thoughts, all of my feelings, all of my perceptions, all of the memories, all of my images, and all my expectations associated with this event. And I ask for divine healing and divine transformation to come to this event and to come to all those who attend it. And then just let the light saturate this event. And at the same time, offer anything that you feel that comes up about this event to the light. And ask the light to take it out of you and transmute it into light and into peace. And notice that you're perfectly safe. You're completely protected. And now just breathe in light. and release anything that's not light, just into the light. And give this all-knowing light complete permission to heal and transform anything that needs to be healed associated with the event. Try to remain the witness of the event. Just witness the light infusing the event with light. And just feel the light infusing your body with light. Or some people will see it. Some people will hear it. But trust that the light knows how to heal it, knows how to heal everything that needs to be healed. Now give the light permission to continuously heal and transmute anything that's not light associated with this event into the highest blessings that you can receive, and to help you with every step of the way. And guide you every step of the way. And bring you the right resources. And even give the light permission that if this situation isn't of light and it isn't for your highest and best good, that it just takes it out of your future and brings you something that's good for you or right for you. And I want you to take this event and put it right up into the sun and allow the sun to heal it even more. Just let it sit where the Holy Spirit sits. And let it be managed at that level. Now I want you to fill yourself with light again. Breathe it in. and let it fill and cleanse your room. Transmute anything that's not of light. And make your space a sacred space, a protected space, a loving space. And now I want you to look into your future and find something that you truly, really desire. Maybe it's a job, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a car. Maybe it's a healing. Whatever it is, once you find it, bring it into this light in your room. And immediately start to let the light fill all space of it and brighten it up. And just tell the light your truth about it, how much you want it, why you want it, what you want it to look like. Give it detail. You know, just like asking a divine Father that wants to give you everything you want. Give it clarity on what you want out of this event or what you want to happen in your life. Do you want to live in abundance? Do you want to feel more love? Do you want to feel more peace? Do you want to have more enjoyable events in your life? Whatever it is, just tell the divine and put it in this light. And ask the light to help you manifest it. And ask the light to even surprise you delightfully and even make it better than what you're creating. But give the light your full permission for it to help you to manifest this, something that you truly desire. You might even ask the light to add things to it that even bring more joy, more happiness, more peace. Just let it marinate in the light. And ask the light to bring it to life for you, to make it yours. And ask the light to remove anything that's an obstacle that would block this from manifestation. Just take it out and give you crystal clear guidance to help you manifest it. Let it grow and expand. Take a minute to feel what it would feel like if it was already yours. What would that feel like in your body? What would that look like in your life? Just embrace that feeling that it's already manifested. It's already yours. And now take this ball of light and give the divine permission to keep manifesting it, to keep clearing anything that's an obstacle of it, to heal any thoughts within you that would block it from coming to reality, to heal any memories or perceptions. Just give the light carte blanche permission to help you to manifest this completely and inspire you with the right thoughts, the right actions, the right feelings. And try to stay focused on the feeling that you have once it's manifested. What does it feel like to already have this? And I want you to take that feeling and this ball of light with what you truly desire. And I want you to accept it in your heart and in your life. Just bring it into your heart. Bring it into your life. And thank the divine for helping you to create it. And ask the divine to continue to bring about its complete and full manifestation. And even add to it things that you didn't even think about that will divinely surprise you. And give that divine light permission to remove continuously any thoughts, judgments, or perceptions that would block its manifestation. And to bring right thought and right actions. And now I want you to bring more light in. Strengthen your connection with this light. And let it fill all space. Let it fill your home. Let it fill your body. Let it fill your mind. And I just want you to ask it now for 3 blessings that'll bring joy to you and happiness, even though you don't know what they are. Just ask it to surprise you with some divine blessings that you're not even expecting, and to put those into your near future, maybe even next week. Just ask it to surprise you delightfully with things that are good that you weren't even expecting. And then thank it for its gifts. Thank it for protection. Thank it for being loving. Okay, when you feel complete, just take one last deep breath. Breathe in light, let it cleanse you. And then come back to the present moment. Okay, now I'm going to unmute Abbi, and we're going to welcome any questions or comments or feedback. Anything you want to share about the meditations? Anybody feel the presence of light and peace? Anybody who wants to share or ask questions, you can just raise your hand and we'll unmute you and you can share whatever you want or ask anything you want. Okay.
That was powerful, Jim. That was really powerful. I'm still coming out of it. That was a great meditation, I thought. Thank you.
Welcome. Trying to pin us both in here. All right. Let's see if we have any questions in the chat. If I can find it. All right. Well,
I hope that everyone,
somebody wants me to repeat the daily prayer.
oh, okay.
I could repeat it and I could probably also send it out to you. I think I've got it written down. But it's like I call in the light and I call in my guides and angels and I just offer the day to them. I give you this day, each and every second of this day, and all the results. Please lead me, guide me, direct me, and protect me each and every second of this day. Please bring me those you can bless me through. Please bring me those you can bless through me. And please be the consciousness operating in, on, and throughout my being today. Please, God. Thank you, God. Okay. And it's so important to give God permission to help you with your life, because the laws of free will say if you don't ask, we don't interfere. Okay. And the other nice thing about asking for light to come in is that light always dispels darkness. So if you're in fear or you're in anger or you're in hate, if you can just bring in light and just make the effort to call it in, say a prayer, that's a connection to light. If you can just call it in, it will start to heal and transform in that moment. All you've got to do is be open to it. That's it. And
also, I might add that I know some of you are facing decisions or have made decisions and don't really know which way to go. That's another great place to call in light, even if we don't really know what decision to make. And I'm glad that Jim is going to send out that prayer and some other prayers to you in written form after this class, because any decision that we have to make, that's a great place to call into the light and do that exercise that Jim just led us through, even if we don't really know the outcome of our decision, to just keep asking it to be in light every day until we feel clear. Sometimes things will just happen like they happened to his friend where he didn't feel like riding the motorcycle, where it'll just suddenly become clear and we know what decision to make.
Yeah, there's a meditation that I've taught a few times, and I think we're going to do it in Idlewild. We might do it if we haven't done it for that group. We're going to do it in Idlewild, but it's really a meditation on sometimes we don't know if something's good for us or bad for us, and when you can get to the point where you honestly don't know if it's for your highest good and it's a lesson, or if it's not. There's a meditation to bring it into the light and ask the light to take it out of your life if it's not for your highest good, and to really help you to understand it if it is, and help you through it. And it really works. It's worked every time I've used it. So, it's when you can recognize that you inherently have a connection to an all-knowing light that's all powerful, that's always healing, and that can help you in any situation. Why not use it? Why not bring it to future events? But there's another thing I was learned by this one man when I was 20 some odd years old that he was healing cancer with, and it was just bringing light to your whole life and past lives, basically simultaneously, and letting it heal and transform anything of trauma that no longer served you. And he said it produced profound results, and it was all in the silence. It wasn't when he was talking. He was a hypnotist, but he would past life regress people and bring light to it. He didn't really call it that, but he said it was the most profound thing he ever did, and it made healings happen that he could have never thought of. And it's just about just exposing things and just letting light come to them. That's like with ancestral healing, you're bringing light to thousands of people and multiple generations at the same time, and everything that's healed is compounded, in the person that's actually at the event and their relatives and their family. So it's the biggest tool we have is to learn how to connect to light and to surrender to it, really, and just let it take the lead. Would you agree, Abby?
Yeah, I think one thing I try to do in my meditation, I can see that you were doing in your meditation, is the idea of feeling it rather than thinking it. Because I know whenever people deal with the future, it's very easy to go into our mind and start churning up different, possibilities, or wondering what we should do with a big decision, or wondering how to deal with a future event. And I'm hoping that through the course of this class, if you didn't already know how to just get into that deeper space of your heart, of just feeling the light, feeling the energy, and sort of going away from your thought, coming into non-thought. I've found the more I cultivate that, the more I try to get into that state, the easier my life gets. We've gotten to a point now where we meditate every morning, and we routinely will bring in future things or worries into this meditation. And we find that if we work together, one person can get in their head, but if two people are really trying to get into the light and to get to that state of meditation, it's a little bit easier. And then we both bring in future events, we both bring in worries, and just see how the light, or just a basic feeling of energy, can either dispel the fears or seem to transform things happening in the future. So I really encourage everybody to give it a try if you don't already do it, because it kind of streamlines your way through life in a way that's very unexpected.
Yeah, it's like,
at least to me.
yeah, I mean, sometimes people will just text and they'll say, send me light. And really what I do is something similar to the meditation we just did, is I connect super strongly with light, and then I just call them into it, and I infuse them in light, and things happen that I couldn't even imagine. Miracles happen. And I don't even know what their situation is half the time. Sometimes I know what their situation is, but I don't need to bring it into the meditation. All I need to do is make sure they're super connected to light and ask the light to help them. And things happen that I couldn't possibly orchestrate with my mind. It just wouldn't happen. And it happens in such a way to where they just go, this is what happened, and I don't know how, right? So, it's really a powerful thing that you can learn for yourself. And once you learn it for yourself, you'll start to bring it to your relationships and your family members and your kids and your parents, and it works. And it really takes the stress out of you to try to have to fix things with your mind.
And also, I think it takes out, excuse me for interrupting, a little bit of the guilt, because part of our relationship with the future is we think, oh, I could make the wrong decision, and we would feel shame or guilt, or we could feel like we could fail, or even worry about money. But the more we call in the light and what Jim calls our light team, we sort of don't have to carry so much of that burden.
Yeah, things start to happen with right thought, right action, spontaneously. And the more you practice this, the more you're going to witness it. And the more you witness it, the more your faith in it's going to increase.
That's very true.
It happens that way. And as your faith increases, like what makes Abbi such a good healer, she's got super big faith in light. And so people bring her all these like unhealable problems, and she's like, well, I'm going to bring light to it. And it works, right? But there's, it's just, it takes sometimes some time to develop that consciousness. It takes years sometimes, and sometimes it's instantaneous. But the truth is when you have that open connection and the light can come through you, it's amazing what can happen. And it's way more powerful than anything that's destructive. Like if there's a destructive force in the room and you bring light into the room, that destructive force might rear up a little bit, but eventually it's going to run. Okay, it's going to take off, and it's going to leave you alone because it can't operate in that higher frequency. It just can't. So that's why it's good to train yourselves to call in light. Give everything to God. And Christ said, give everything to me. What he's talking about is bring the light into it, bring my consciousness into it. I know how to heal it. You don't. Okay. But as it comes through you, you gradually learn how to heal it, and it heals things in you that would block you from healing.
I think the thing to remember also is that nobody's perfect in this work. Like I'm always saying, how does the energy feel to you? How do you feel when it feels expanding or good or loving? Because we're all individual, and there's no really right way. There's no guru that really knows how to do this. It's sort of available to all of us. And don't be discouraged if you're just learning, or, you know, you may be way beyond me, but the point is just keep at it. You know, some days we are off days, some days we're on days, but as we just make it a habit, it's amazing how our lives get easier, is my comment. My learning of this was pretty hit or miss, but eventually I began to learn how to sort of feel that groove and get into it more often than not. And I was amazed that so many things you could turn over to light or project light into would actually change. Are there
Just
any
answering questions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So remember, our website is called infinitelight.me. All our events are up there. Our next class is in November, but it's going to be an in-person class about relationships. So again, that third Sunday of November will not be a Zoom class. It will be an in-person class. But then we will have a Zoom class in December. So all of you are on our email list. So I'll send you all the information about the upcoming Zoom classes and the upcoming live classes. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah. Does anybody just want to share from today?
Yeah.
All right. Let me unmute you. Hang on a second.
Abbi, it's Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Good to see you.
Good to see you both. Hi, Jim. Thank you so much.
Hi.
I think the
Welcome.
biggest thing that really hit me in a different way today was just as simple as ask and you shall receive. And I mean, my whole life it's try and you shall receive, effort and you shall receive, produce and you shall receive. And it seems crazy that it's just ask. And it's energetically the sense of willingness that I'm even worthy of just being given without efforting, or being given without trying to earn, or so thank you for I remind myself it is that simple to ask. And if there's anything you want to add on to that, that'd be great.
I would love to. I mean, when I started using that, right, when you ask for something, one thing you want to do is really start to pay attention when you ask for something. Like when you ask the divine for something, pay attention that if there's any thoughts or perceptions that have either been projected onto you, or that you believed at some time in your life or in past lives that you're not worthy of it. Okay. And if that comes up, just ask the light, pull this out of me. I don't want it. Okay. Because when we have those, it blocks it. It's like, you know, I'm asking to receive a new car. Okay. And it's like, you know, it doesn't happen. It's like, well, it's not happening. Okay. But when you pay attention, it's like, okay, I'm asking to receive a new car. And it's like, well, that's not possible because of this and that, this and that, this and that. And the rational mind kicks in and starts talking, and it shuts off the connection, right? It's like, I want this, but I'm not good enough. I want this, but I'm not good enough, right? And so one of the things that when we ask for something, if you can just spend a minute and ask for it and just be aware of anything that comes up in you that would be in opposition to receiving. And then if it comes up, don't go into it too much. Just go, oh, okay. And I offer you this, God, and please heal these thoughts. Please heal these perceptions. Okay. When I work with people, it's like, I give you this thought, but also I give you this feeling, right? If I'm working with someone that's got a fear, I give you this fear, right? And take it out of me, because it's not your essence, right? It's part of your genetic code. It's part of trauma from past lives, whatever it is, right? But it's some kind of perception that isn't real, okay? And it's creating it. And it's like, so I give you this fear, take it out of me, and please heal all of the thoughts, memories, perceptions, expectations associated with it. Please and thank you. And what you'll notice, if you just say that prayer, over time, the emotion will come down and you'll start thinking differently and you won't know why. Okay. So the same thing is true when you ask for something and then all of a sudden you hear, if you really get clear on being present, you might even like see your mom say, you're not deserving of that. You're not good enough. You were bad. You don't deserve it. Right. And just say, please clear this from me. Right. Please clear this from me, because now you're bringing up a wound that needs to be cleared so you can manifest. Okay. So when it comes up, don't beat yourself up for it. Go the next step and say, oh, this is what's alive. Okay. Will you please clear this from me and remove any other blocks that are operating within me that would prevent this from manifesting. Okay. But let the light do the work. It knows how to clear it. Does that make sense? Okay. That goes for anything, that when you ask for something and all of a sudden you feel something in your body that's closing down, go in and explore what it is, because it's not your essence. It's something that you believe or something that you were told or something from the past, and it just needs to be cleared. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank
Does that
you.
help?
Mhm.
Welcome.
Anyone
right.
else with any comments or questions?
Well, let me get you unmuted. Okay. Can you hear Beverly? Or not Beverly? Hang on.
Erica.
Yes, hi.
Erica.
You can you
Hi.
hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
One thing that I loved is, when you went over like just I'm paraphrasing. For me, it was like a manifestation, like envisioning something and then being in that space and feeling it as if it already happened. And years ago, there was a gal who, er, she taught me like a different way to pray. And that was instead of asking, because those promises are there, is coming from it differently, like thanking our, for me, it's my God. For other people is, the light, or however you choose to identify it. But it was more so like, thank you. Like for me, a prayer is always like, even though, I don't see my son right now breaking away from an addiction, I thank my God for severing the bond of addiction over his life. Even though right now in the moment I don't see it, I guess, I think of it in the future. I put that thought in the future, even though right now I don't see it. I put myself in a space where I'm like, thank you that it has happened. And I sit in that space and it feels so real. And it feels like in that moment, it's such a power that I'm like, thank you for severing the bond of addiction over his life. And I just sit in that and it feels so good. I'm so happy, like it's everything. And I stay in that space, and I love how you did. I think you did that, in the meditation, is just, you could just sensing it, being in that space, right? Calling the light in the future, and then staying in that space, and then just, and all the wonderful feelings that come with whatever it is that you're asking, if it is meant for you, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes like just the big sense of relief will come. It's like, it's like, thank God, like something must have ended. A lot of times when you pray for people, when you hold people in light, you'll feel this release. And once that release happens, it's done. And changes happen and you don't have to micromanage it. It's really cool. I mean, Abby's worked with people with addictions that she never met, and they were healed of addiction. I mean, somebody else brought them, and it was just like, I mean, when you cut the cord to the energy of it, it can't operate in the person anymore, right? So it's, it's one of these things that the more you can bring it into light, and the more you can just hold light into it and ask the light to surround him with love, surround him with light, protect him, and continuously bless him with what he needs for his highest good, it'll happen, right? And all it takes is that 1 second to where he's open, and it happens, but it's something that you got to trust that will happen, like you're doing. It's cool.
Yeah, I agree completely with you. Yeah.
Yeah, you've had a lot of experience working with people that were addicted. Do you
So
want
have
to share
you,
anything
Jim.
about it? Huh?
So have you, Jim. You recently just brought someone out of addiction. But yeah, I agree with you, Erica. One of the prayers I have every day is kind of like what you're saying. Instead of praying that something will happen, like it will happen, I thank because it is happening. And I think just that shift of the verb, almost like it is happening now, and I give thanks for it rather than please will it happen, that alone makes a big difference. One prayer I've really learned is to every day just I thank God for the gifts I'm receiving today. Kind of like they're coming in today. And they can be emotional gifts, of helping people, sending light to people, or financial gifts. But the more I focus on receiving, the more it seems to work. And I know it's probably true with your son too. The more you hold him in light and just give thanks, it seems to be very powerful.
Yeah. You want to get to the point where you've got such a strong connection to light in that moment, and you get to that point where you realize that God ising, God is on the scene, and there's the connection, and your job's over. That's all you have to do is make the connection, and then bring, if like we brought balls of light in, when you bring them into the light and the connection's been made and that they're open, and that they're surrounded with light, you'll feel a release, and that means that the connection's been made. God ising, meaning in the present, God is active. Okay, and that activeness will automatically be healing.
Thank you, Erica, for sharing that.
Thank you. Let's see, how do I do this? Okay.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us. And it's wonderful to see everybody, those that I know, and welcome to the new people. We'll be sending out a recording of this class to the entire list. So if you want to share it with your friends, it is a free class. Or if you want to use the meditation over and over, that's fine too. But thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, it'll also be on the website under the class page for about 2 months, along with 2 other classes. We're going to try to keep 3 classes, past classes, on the website to where you can go watch them at any time, and it just connects you to the YouTube channel. But this class should be up on the website within a few days. Okay.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you
for joining us. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you.